You want the moon? Just say the word and I'll throw a lasso around it and pull it down.
Look at the stars. The great kings of the past look down on us from those stars. So whenever you feel alone, just remember that those kings will always be there to guide you.
I don't think it is very useful to speculate on what God might or might not be able to do. Rather, we should examine what he actually does with the universe we live in.
We are all explorers, driven to know what's over the horizon. The most profound discoveries are not necessarily beyond that next star. They're within us, woven into the threads that bind us.
Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Happy Mars Day. How's everybody feeling this morning? It has been a weird energy for me under the Taurus moon, but again, like I said yesterday, it's all about understanding your own chart, and I know when the moon is in Taurus, it's opposing my moon. So the moon's only in Taurus for the next hour or so, and then it moves into Gemini, and that's what we're talking about today. Just the moon, no other major planetary connections. We still have Venus and Mars in the background forming this nice conjunction to one another in Aquarius, and they'll be transiting together within a degree through March 12th, I believe. So we still have about another week of this strong energy of attraction. Other than that, though, no major connections playing out among the planets. You will see, though, tomorrow, I believe, Mercury is going to move into Pisces. I believe that's tomorrow. Let me double check for you. But yes, Mercury moves into Pisces tomorrow. So that's kind of the next major shift we're going to see. But let's talk about what's going on with the moon today, because it's making some interesting connections that you might feel, especially when we have a day with only moon transits. We tend to feel the emotional shifts a little bit more strongly because there's no other major planetary connections getting in the way or influencing the energy. So you can see the moon is still in Taurus, 29 degrees right now. Technically, we're under a void moon at the moment because the moon's last connection was a conjunction to the North Node, and then it formed some connections to Mercury and Pluto. So let's talk about that really quick. But now the moon is void until it enters Mercury. So when the moon is in Taurus, it's a very grounded energy. The moon is exalted in Taurus. It really makes us crave physical comfort. We like to be in our comfort zone with the moon in Taurus, or most of us at least. Again, it depends on where your moon is, where Taurus falls in your chart. But if you feel like you have been kind of stuck in your comfort zone over the past few days, prepare for a change of pace as the moon enters Gemini this afternoon. The moon met up with the North Node at 3 a.m. this morning Pacific time. And, most of us were probably sleeping for this, but depending on what kind of dreams you had, they could have given you some hints about the direction you're supposed to be heading in life, or an emotional awareness, a subconscious awareness even about the direction you're supposed to be heading in life. Then 5 a.m. Pacific time was that double connection between the moon, Mercury, and Pluto. So if you look at the chart, the moon squared off to Mercury in Aquarius, 90-degree angle there, and then formed a flowing, harmonious trine to Pluto in Capricorn at the same time, because both are at 27 degrees. They're not really connecting with each other, Mercury and Pluto, because they're only one sign apart. Some astrologers look at those aspects, but I find that we're not really feeling a whole lot of connection between Mercury and Pluto right now. It's a minor angle. So when that happened at 5 a.m., this is really the energy we've been starting the day under. Even though most of us probably woke up under the void moon, we're still feeling those lingering effects of that double connection. So let's start with the moon squaring off to Mercury. What does that mean? Well, this can cause disagreements where our emotions and our rational mind aren't on the same page at this moment. So, or at 5 a.m. Pacific time, early this morning. So it could have caused disagreements, clashes, even just disruptions to a peaceful morning. It could also be difficult to hold back strong emotions when the moon squared off to Mercury. Both of these planets are in fixed signs, which really makes us kind of want to stand our ground. And so, yeah, if you had strong emotions coming through, maybe it felt like you needed to express them, you had this urge to express them, that was the energy we started the day under. But at the same time, the moon formed that nice flowing angle to Pluto. Now, Pluto intensifies pretty much everything it touches, even in this positive connection. So that could have just made the situation more intense if there was a disagreement or a clash. And this doesn't even necessarily have to be between you and someone else. It could have just been internally, like you're waking up with almost anxiety or negativity, or just feeling like you want to feel good rationally, okay, this is the day ahead, but emotionally you're just like, I don't want to do it. Or just, clashing with whatever you're thinking and feeling are clashing with each other. And then Pluto's involvement kind of intensifies those emotions. Now, this could have a positive connotation if we use this trine to Pluto for self-analysis, for recognizing, okay, what's coming up for us? Why is this coming up? Pluto really likes to dive deep into our shadows and bring them to light, understand the truth of the situation. So Pluto's influence, this fortunate influence from Pluto, could have led to even a breakthrough about, okay, why am I feeling this way? Is this something that's just been kind of hiding deep inside me, or is this a temporary emotion? But beware of pushing other people's buttons, interrogating other people, because Pluto can bring that intensity into the situation too and make us overly critical or overly analytical. So small arguments this morning could have turned into bigger deals if we let Pluto get the best of us. But again, that was at 5 a.m. So maybe just the energy, maybe a little bit of annoyance or anxiety to start your day. The rest of the afternoon will be dominated by the moon in Gemini, and it is making some fortunate connections. So the moon officially moves into Gemini, the sign of the twins, at 11 a.m. Pacific time. And over the next couple days with the moon in Gemini, will likely be a little bit more chatty, more social. We'll be nurtured by learning new information and sharing what we learn with other people. Gemini is the sign of communication. So it's all about taking in information, putting out information, understanding things, and communication can come more naturally as well to us with the moon in Gemini. We'll have this innate curiosity. We want to ask more questions. We want to find the answer to things, understand why things are happening the way they're happening. The only connection the moon makes after it moves into Gemini is a very positive one. As I mentioned, the moon forms a trine, a 120-degree angle. Actually, let's jump ahead a couple hours here. It forms a 120-degree angle to Venus and Mars. And because Venus and Mars are within a degree of each other, it's actually going to connect to them for a little bit longer. Basically, while the moon moves from 1 degree to 3 degrees, it'll be making exact connections to Venus and Mars. And keep in mind, when we're talking about these transits, it's also important to note that a lot of astrologers track transits within a 5-degree range. So even though, for example, this morning, the moon is connecting to Pluto and Mercury, and it's awkward and it's happening at 5 a.m. By 8 a.m., we're still pulling away from that energy. We're still influenced by it. So we'll really be feeling this fortunate connection between the moon, Mars, and Venus, all afternoon as the moon is transiting through Gemini. So what does this mean? What does it mean with the moon connecting with Mars and Venus? Hey, Court, so glad you're here. Well, Venus and Mars are transiting together, really amplifying the power of attraction. This is a great time to find a partner. If you're in the market, it's a great time to enhance a connection you already have, because our masculine and feminine energies are working together, both internally and externally. Masculine and feminine are basically in a union with Mars and Venus together. Now, Mars and Venus were transiting through Capricorn, really putting the focus on our long-term goals in relationships and on our long-term desires as well. Now that Mars and Venus are in Aquarius, it's more about the collective desire. It's more about your individual desires as well, because Aquarius is about the individual, but it's also about the collective. So, you know, with Mars and Venus in Aquarius, we're finding our people, we're finding our community, we're finding our tribe. We're attracted to like-minded people, and we're also attracted to people with the same weird qualities that we have. And when the moon harmonizes with Mars and Venus, this could bring a fortunate opportunity for connection, especially with the moon in social, chatty Gemini. If you find yourself in a conversation with someone else, maybe ask, hey, is this person like me? Could we be friends? You know, is there a potential here for a connection, whether it's romantic or platonic? Mars and Venus really rule our relationships, our motivations, not just romantically, even though they're most commonly associated with love. So when the moon harmonizes with these two planets, we can take the lead and assert ourselves because Mars is involved, giving us that external energy, and the moon in Gemini makes us more outgoing, more social, but also we can create harmony and beauty and peace in the situations around us because of Venus's influence. So it's really this nice blend of internal, external energy, very social energy with all of these planets in air signs, and also our sensual desires will be a little bit stronger because the moon, ruling our body, ruling our emotional state, is connecting with the planets of love. So you might, by this afternoon, feel a heightened desire, whether it's sexually, sensually, or you just have this desire to connect with other people, even a desire to learn new information, because Mars and Venus in Aquarius wants to see a different perspective. It wants to bring in new information, and often that comes by bringing in new people. So a fortunate opportunity for attraction could happen by this afternoon when the moon is connecting to Venus and Mars, and especially if you're willing to put yourself in a social setting. And again, that doesn't have to be a physical social setting. It could literally just be connecting with someone on Instagram, joining an online community on Facebook, becoming part of a new Twitter Spaces group. I don't know. Whatever your social online life looks like, maybe put yourself out there a little bit today. Yes, yeah, consciously trying to balance masculine and feminine energies. I am too, you know, and I think this conjunction between Venus and Mars can make it a little bit easier to be aware of our masculine and feminine energies. But at the same time, if you are dominated by one or the other, it might be bringing to your awareness a need for balance. Like, hey, if you're somebody who's really go, 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 do, very in your Mars, very outgoing or motivated or just busy, constantly wanting to take action and move, this conjunction between Mars and Venus could show you that different perspective, especially with the planets in Aquarius, and let you know, like, hey, here's Venus wanting you to slow down, wanting you to take a nice, easy, balanced approach to things. It's funny you say that, Court, because I was really feeling that this morning as I was getting ready, like just really wanting to take my time and enjoy the process of curling my hair and getting myself together. But at the same time, the natural Virgo and, you know, busybody in me was like, no, we have to go, we have to be on time. So you might be feeling that as well, just kind of trying to balance your own masculine and feminine, trying to figure out, you know, what pace to go at. And the moon in Gemini makes us kind of want to pick up the pace too. Gemini is ruled by Mercury, which is very fast-paced energy. So be aware of what your body is telling you and how much of your masculine, how much of your feminine you're leaning into. Does it feel good for you? Does it feel balanced? Does it feel sustainable? The oracle card we pulled yesterday was all about sustainability and not drying up your own well by doing too much. So if you're feeling a little bit burned out or your energy is depleted, maybe take a look at how your masculine and feminine energies are being expressed Again, we all have masculine and feminine. So when I say masculine and feminine, I'm not talking about men and women, although societally men tend to be more masculine, women tend to be more feminine, but we all have these energies within us. So it's a really good time over the next week with Mars and Venus in this conjunction to pay attention to how this has been showing up for you over the past month. They've been in a conjunction for a long time, and now that they're in Aquarius, we might be able to see a different perspective about our masculine and feminine energies. All right, so today's just all about the moon. That's it. Let's do a wrap up and then we will pull a card. So we start the morning with the Taurus moon making its final connection, squaring off to Mercury and flowing with Pluto. This could have had you waking up in a bit of an awkward or even anxious mood because our rational mind and our emotional state are clashing with one another. And then with Pluto in the mix, it brings a level of intensity. Now, this intensity can be great to use for self-analysis, really paying attention to why you're feeling the way you're feeling, but it can also aggravate things even further. But don't worry, the moon moves into Gemini by midday, 11 a.m. Pacific time, and then makes a beautiful, harmonious connection to the conjunction between Venus and Mars in Aquarius. This is going to amplify the power of attraction. It's going to make us feel like we want to connect with other people. We can find our tribe under this aspect. We are drawn to odd or unique people who also have the same interests as us. So this is a great energy this afternoon to put yourself out there in a social setting, whether it's in person or virtually, and maybe try to make connections with new people. Try to find people who have the same interests as you and see what happens. You never know. This is a very fortunate, lucky connection between the social Gemini moon and the planets of love and attraction, Mars and Venus. All right, let's pull a card. I'm going to pull from the Moonology deck because on days that we're talking about the moon, we pull moon cards. My dog's barking in the background. They just want to be part of the stream. Okay. Ooh, that was loud. Okay, what do we need to know? Let me give myself some space to shuffle here. These are fun because they're like playing cards. Not the most spiritual way to shuffle, but does the job. Okay. What do we need to know? Interesting. Okay, we were just talking about masculine and feminine energies, and then we pulled the new moon and Aries card, and it says, it's time to take action. Interesting. So maybe if you're someone who's been a little bit more in your feminine energy and wanting to go with the flow, maybe being a little bit more hesitant, this is your sign that it is time for you to take action. But let's see what the guidebook has to say. Let me pull it up here. Very interesting, though. It's time to take action. Not the card I expected to pull, but it's always on point. So, like I said, we will see what it has to say. It's on page 42. So 42 is an important number to you. This is a sign for you specifically. It's funny, too. My dog is being crazy, and he is an Aries. He is hearing the message. It's time to take action. He literally won't stop barking right now. Okay, here's what it says. The flame is lit. A wonderful new start beckons, and you're on the right track. Drawing this card is a superbly positive sign if there's something you want to happen in your life. Take this card as a big yes from the universe. This is the time to really tune into your dreams. You may still have a long way to go. After all, Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, but you're on your way. Determination, self-assertion, and bravery are called for, but the hot fire of Aries is driving you towards success in whatever endeavor you're asking about. The caution: don't go too fast and forget your manners. Treat people well as you charge towards your goals. You'll create much better karma for yourself. It says, don't even think about giving up. Do your best and be happy with that. Avoid being brash right now. Maybe make a 12-month plan as a recommendation the guidebook is giving. And it says a new male is coming into your life. Okay, looking for love? A new male could be coming into your life. Or I guess it doesn't have to be romantic, but a new man is coming in. Okay, cool. It has some more teaching, but we don't need to get into that. But wow, this is a really positive card, you guys. And it's interesting because I really enjoy that it gave a little bit of a warning. Like if you're feeling like you're gaining momentum, which will feel natural with the moon in Gemini, really kind of amping up the speed and the pace. And then the Mars-Venus conjunction flowing with the moon is giving us more energy to put ourselves out there, to take action towards our goals. But I love that the card says to not go too fast, not forget your manners, treat people well as you charge towards your goals, kind of bringing in that Venus influence of be gentle as you're charging towards the finish line. Make sure you're taking care of the people around you and creating balanced connections with the people around you. So also reminding us, this is a very Mars energy card, but giving us the reminder to lean into our Venus energy as well, lean into the feminine a little bit as well. But this is a really positive sign. If you've been looking for a sign, if you should take action on something or take that next step, here it is. The universe says yes. All right, that's going to do it for this episode of Transits today. We have another interview on The Spiritual Journalist coming up this afternoon at 1 p.m. with Dr. Lottie Valentine. And she has had 2 near-death experiences, left her body, and after those experiences, gained psychic abilities. She's clairvoyant, clairaudient, and clairsentient, and she works as a medical intuitive. Those experiences really encouraged her or influenced her to go to medical school, and now she's a doctor. So she has a really interesting story. I'm really looking forward to our conversation. You can join us live, ask your own questions at 1 p.m. today, or find our interview anytime on my YouTube page, on thespiritualjournalist.com, or wherever you listen to podcasts. So I hope to see you there. I hope to see you right back here tomorrow morning to talk about Mercury moving into Pisces, what that means for us. And I hope you have a beautiful day under the Gemini moon. I'll see you right back here tomorrow morning. But until then, stay curious. Thank you so much for joining us and aligning with the energy of the universe today. If you enjoyed this morning's episode of Transits Today, you can join our live astrology discussion every weekday morning right here wherever you're watching. And head to thespiritualjournalist.com to read your daily astrology forecast and browse the Spiritual Shop. The most fun way to help keep these forecasts free and support more content like this is to buy yourself a little something on our website. But if you're feeling extra generous, you can also buy me a coffee to fuel future live streams. Just tap the link in the description or head to buymeacoffee.com and search The Spiritual Journalist. And speaking of, you can also tune in to The Spiritual Journalist, our weekly live interview where we ask our guests questions about everything from crystals and manifestation to mental health and the environment. Those conversations stream live right here wherever you're watching now every Tuesday. I'm so grateful you found us here, and I can't wait for our next conversation.